YouTube, what is up? We are back with another day. We're gonna rip cleans and we'll see what else we get to today. We don't have a ton of time. Typical me. We got softball tonight. Then we're headed to nationals tomorrow. We're gonna try out a new form of the cleans that I saw right before I got here on Instagram, see if they're any cool, and then probably hit some heavy stuff after. Topics today will be the Will Ratelle rule or the Will Ratelle transformation. We're gonna make a proverb out of it, and why you should be a jerk for the right reasons. So, without further ado, let's get after it.
If I had a whoop score today, it would be fucking -10. I am dragging ass body-wise, rocking about 4 hours of sleep. I need to stop saying no to late night softball games. It's just like, I didn't have softball last night. I got the text message, hey, want to come play late games? It was like 40 minutes away. Game ended at 10:30. I didn't even get home until 11:30. Got to be up at 4:30. Total shit show, but we crushed last night. I'm just addicted to softball. Every time they ask me, I'm like, yeah, I gotta go get my hit. But we are dragging ass today because of it. We got single leg jumps over this hurdle. Just a bunch of different variation. We're gonna hit like 15 reps each leg. Bunch of different variations here. Let's rip. Stick. All right, there we go. Good little warm up for the ollies today. Legs feeling pretty pumped up. Body's feeling like absolute trash. Let's go do some yo-yo cleans. So I figured out the mystery of where my lifting belt went. One of my athletes has been with us for 3 years, got a new job in Tennessee, and apparently that weightlifting belt was his. He's been here for so long, the belt has been here for so long, I didn't even think about it. Ordered a new belt on Monday, and I got a message from Amazon. It was supposed to be here yesterday. I got a message from Amazon that the package is too damaged to deliver, so we got no belt until probably next week, but we'll be ripping this. We got these yo-yo cleans here. These do not feel as smooth as they look on Instagram. This might be a major skill issue. Like, I'm just not at the skill level of these guys were, but it's a pull, clean coming through. They don't really go into full extension, more of like a first pull into a clean, and they keep pulling the bar into them, which I definitely need to work on. My first pull is ass, and I don't get it into my hips. I always let it drift, so it's a good drill for me, but I'm not very good at it. I feel like I'm not able to clear the hips and like time it up, but we'll work on it. So we'll hit a couple sets of this and then hit red cleans from there and rip it. Let's get it. All right, we're gonna hit 2 more sets of the yo-yo cleans. I think these yo-yo cleans are a great example. I mean, they're obviously a drill, but it's also another cool way to make something that is easier, harder, without just adding more load to it, right? And I think a lot of these complexes, I mentioned on a Monday, but you can get so much done. Like, we're getting 3 hinge type patterns into a clean done, into a squat done, in the time that a lot of times you want to get anything done, right? Like, you're just warming up. So I like these, makes them harder. I think I'm working on a couple things. I'm ass at them, but hard things are good things usually. Let's go. Last set of the yo-yos here, then we'll get to some regular cleans and talk about the Will Ratelle rule. Let's get it. All right, yo-yos are done. Gonna hit singles. We got about, I mean, technically we have 5 minutes. I'm probably gonna stay here for 10. Hit a couple singles before we go. Will Ratelle rule. Will, in his last video, was talking about how he's gonna start up a podcast again and how it's gonna be better because he's much more confident on camera. And I don't know if I have seen somebody transform in their ability to articulate their thoughts and be confident and be comfortable in front of a camera, be comfortable in front of speaking, a better transition and transformation than what Will was in 2019 to 2024. And it's something that I talk about all the time. If you want to get better at something, you need reps, and you just need to do it over and over and over and over and over again until you are a master at it. And so many people understand that in the sports performance world. So many people understand that when it comes to squats. So many people can understand it when it comes to bench pressing. But they don't get it at all when it comes to speaking or being funny or being creative or being charismatic, right? They don't put that together. They think people that are charismatic are just charismatic, people that can talk in front of a camera like Will and articulate his thoughts as clearly and as quickly as he does, as concise as he does. They don't understand that that was a skill set he has built through 5 years of reps. If you, I dare you, not dare you, but I urge you to go look at a 2019 video of Will. Go listen to a 2019 podcast of me. We sound retarded, right? And I think Will would agree, I sound retarded. We sound not confident. We have no idea what we're doing in front of the camera. And it's not that we don't have the knowledge. We just don't know how to get it from our brain into our mouth, because that's a skill set, right? And it's something you have built up. So the Will Ratelle rule is, if you want to get better at something, go do it 100 times, thousands of times, for years on end. And the best part of the Will Ratelle rule is that nobody cares about his 2019 videos. Nobody cares about my podcast from 2018. They care about what you do now, and they look at you as the master now. They look at Will as the YouTube guru that has all the answers right now and that is amazing at making YouTube videos. They look at that now, and so many people forget where it started, right? And I think that's something people trick themselves into, or they're too scared to start. People are just too scared to start because they feel like they're going to sound like an idiot. You are going to sound like an idiot when you start something, right? You're going to sound like 2019 version of me and Will when you start. But if you start now, in 5 years, you can be Will, what Will is right now and what I'm trying to reach to in front of a camera. I think Will is one of the best at speaking in front of a camera, just being very concise and confident in his thought process. Confident was a word to use, and I think it's the best word to describe how his videos come across. He's very confident in his thoughts, and you become confident through competence, right? And you become competent through thousands of reps of doing what you're doing, studying what you're studying, speaking about what you're speaking about. But if you're not competent, you're scared, you're not confident, and you don't want to put yourself out there, so then you never start. But here's the thing. If you don't start today, and you start next year, you still have to wait 5 years. It's not like that year is going to get you any better at it, right? You can study all you want, you can get all the knowledge all you want, you can do all the things all you want, but it's not the skill set of speaking in front of a camera. It's not the skill set of creating content. It's not the skill set of being a funny person. It's not the skill set of being a leader, right? You actually have to go do those things, right? So if you're thinking about doing this stuff, start today so you can sound like a retard in 2024, and then by 2028, 2029, people are looking at you as an authority figure. But if you don't start now, you're going to have to wait another 5 years. If you wait till 2028 to start, then it's not going to be till 2033 to when you're a master, right? To when you're on Will's level. So the Will Ratelle rule, masters in their field, started 5 years ago. He's not an overnight success. He's been grinding at this. He has totally transformed his content, and it's really fucking cool to watch. And it's cool to hear him talk about and see his own progression. And it's cool for me to relate to, because I feel the same. He even brought up our podcast in the video that he was talking about. It's his recent Q&A video where he has the 500-pound pin squat. I would recommend watching it. The whole video is fire. He talks about debating and everything like that in the video itself. It's a really good video. So that's the Will Ratelle rule. Start today. Sound like an idiot today. So in 5 years from now, you can sound like Will. Let's go. All right, we really got a speeder on this, so we're going to hit this and probably one more set. And unless that next set feels just amazing, we're just going to have to end it on there. Let's get it. Boom, let's talk in the car. Let's get going. All right, so a pretty quick one today. I will be going to softball and then ripping an 11 p.m. lifetime workout. We will hit some lunges, some leg curls, and probably a couple other machines there because I have no life, but mostly just because I want to get a good little pump in before we head to our to Iowa tomorrow for nationals. Mostly just wanted to get the cleans done and get some of the talking points done. Yesterday I was struggling to talk at Lifetime when I was rushed and didn't want to rush it again. So wanted some good verbal content, got some solid cleans in. Wasn't the best thing in the world, but again, running on 4 hours of sleep. So I felt pretty good with that. Nothing felt like it absolutely destroyed me. And I'll take that as a win right now. The other topic I wanted to cover when we got our little 10-minute car ride before softball here is people thinking you're a jerk. I know I covered this. Jerk is the vocab word Mike Boyle used to describe me. It's you're a jerk. And when you come at people, people are going to think you're a jerk. When you state your mind, people are going to think you're a jerk. When you disagree with somebody, people are going to think you're a jerk. When you stand your ground, people are going to think you're a jerk. When you call up bullshit, people are going to think you're a jerk. But here's the thing. People are going to think you're a jerk regardless of what you do in life. I lived probably 23 years of my life being a little passive kind of bitch, not saying the words that I wanted to say, not standing the ground, not actually speaking my mind. And whether my mind is right or not, I just knew in my heart that I wasn't speaking the words that I needed to speak, wasn't saying the things I actually believed in. And I was kind of letting a lot of people walk all over me. And even in those moments when I was as nice as possible and the best person in the world, people still thought I was a jerk. People are going to think you're a jerk. I have bad interactions with people that are probably the nicest people in the world, and I think they're jerks. They're probably the nicest people in the world, but in that day, whether it was how I thought about them, however it was I woke up that morning, maybe it's just how I was raised versus how they were raised, they could have 20,000 people in the world thinking they're the nicest person in the world, and I can think they're a jerk, right? And the same thing is to be said for other people thinking you're a jerk, right? It has nothing to do with your morals or who you are as a person or how nice of a person or how compassionate of a person or even how good of a person you are. Other people's words don't determine that, right? And that's the thing. I think a lot of people are missing their guiding light. They're missing that inner voice. They're missing the thing that tells them, am I actually being a jerk or not? Am I actually on the path or not? And when you don't have that voice, you have to listen to other people. When other people tell you you're a jerk, when Boyle tells you you're a jerk, when your boss or somebody tells you you're a jerk, you have to believe them because you don't have an inner voice that tells you, am I actually on the path or am I not? And that's where you get into some dangerous situations of, again, I don't even want to say dangerous, but this super passive situations where you're never speaking your mind, you're always scared. And again, the result is still the same. Some people in the world are still going to think you're a jerk. Some people in the world are still not going to like you. So if people are still not going to like you, if people are going to call you a jerk or going to call you bad names regardless of what you do on this planet, why not listen to that inner voice when it tells you to stand up? Why not listen to that inner voice when it tells you to speak out, when it tells you to call out somebody's bullshit, whether it makes you a nice or bad person, a nice or mean person, right? And here's the thing, once you start listening to that voice rather than other people's voices and you start trusting, oh, you have that feeling of your boss tells you to do something you don't think is necessarily right. And that's happens a lot in the strength conditioning world. Strength conditioning coach, your admin, somebody will tell you something and you kind of just let it go. You kind of just do it. You kind of just, oh, I don't think it's actually right. Maybe they demean you a little bit, maybe they walk all over you, but they're testing that barrier, they're testing that border. And instead of listening to that voice inside of you that tells you, that's not right, what they're saying is not right, I should speak up here, you listen to them or you listen to the scared voice that says, well, if I speak up, I'm going to look like a jerk. And then you really get stuck in a lot of these holes of not speaking your mind and being this fake compassionate person, but you're sitting in with the like inside fuck you. Day sent out the podcast that'll be released in 2 days, I believe it is, was talking about the inner voice where when you are driving, you don't honk the horn and you don't say fuck you, but you think fuck you, right? And I think a lot of times in our world, in the strength conditioning world with your admins and your strength coaches and your athletic directors, you don't say fuck you, but you think fuck you. And to me, and this is kind of like the difference I got with Boyle is like he says fuck you subtly. He says fuck you behind your back. He says fuck you to other people. To me, it makes you a better person just to say fuck you, to say fuck that idea, to say that is not right. I don't believe in that. I don't think that's in the best interest of our athletes. I don't think that's in the best interest of me. I think you have a power trip. I think you're wrong here. And just saying that outright. And once you start saying these things outright, you really start to prove to yourself, like, I have a moral compass. Even though people are saying stuff bad about me, I can trust myself because I am listening to the inner voice that is taking me places. And it'll be a learning curve for sure, where there will be times where you say fuck you and you are the jerk and you are wrong and you listen to the wrong voice. But again, you can't learn that inner voice. You can't learn the moral compass by not listening to it ever, right? And you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna step over the barrier. You're gonna say it wrong. And then you can just come back and apologize and understand, okay,
I'm actually a good person. I overstepped there. I said that in the wrong way. I poorly communicated, whatever it is. But at least you gave yourself a chance to trust that inner voice. So the whole rant is just to say, people are going to think you're a jerk regardless or not. They might as well think you're a jerk. Well, you speak the message you were put here to speak. Well, you speak the message that you actually believe in. Well, you test the message that you believe you actually believe in, right? And that's the only way you find out the message you actually believe in. That's the only way you find out the ground you actually stand on is by actually standing on that ground. And I just think a lot of people are so scared, and it's almost like a fake virtue signal, a fake compassion thing where they're not saying fuck you, they're saying fuck you behind your back. And I think a lot of people do that. I think you are a better person if you just tell the person fuck you outright. And I'm not saying actually say fuck you, I'm just saying disagree outright. Say your point outright. Call out the bullshit outright, rather than going behind people's backs, rather than even just internally thinking all of these thoughts and holding that resentment and destroying that relationship because you couldn't stand your ground, because you didn't believe in yourself to stand your ground, right? So stand your ground. People are going to talk shit about you one way or the other. Just because they talk shit does not mean that you need to listen to that. The more you're listening to other people's voices, it's telling me the less that you have a inner voice, and the less you have the inner voice, the more you need to go create that inner voice so you can trust it. From there, you can actually speak the message you were put here to speak, rather than listen to people that are on these weird social hierarchies that we, again, as apes, idiotic apes on this planet, have created, right? The titles typically mean nothing. The followers mean nothing. If there's something in you telling you that that person that is ranked above you is wrong, there's probably a reason you have that feeling, and you should go test that idea. I'm not saying that idea is going to be right 100% of the time, but there's a reason you're feeling that feeling, and you need to go discover why you're feeling that feeling, rather than just listening to another ape with a different title that has been here longer than you. And I think so many people get trapped in that thought process. So I appreciate you guys watching. I know it's kind of dark. I don't even know if you can see me, but we're ranting here. Appreciate you guys watching. Keep chopping wood. Let's go.